Happy International Women's Day, everyone. I'm so excited for this message and talk about a topic that is true to my heart. What does authentic leadership look like today? For a long time, leadership was all about performance, authority, charisma. It was all about how can I command the room or having all the answers. Today, authentic leadership is not about being impressive. It's about being aligned and have that clarity. It's that alignment between people, alignment between what you say and what you value and what you reward or how you show up, especially during those hard days. Authentic leadership requires that emotional courage. This is where us women lead the way on this. It's being able to admit that you're wrong, making those unpopular decisions, having those hard conversations early instead of avoiding them, and being able to say, I don't know, when you genuinely don't have all the answers. That's not a sign of weaknesses. Those are strength and self-awareness. In today's team, they can feel that difference immediately when you show that human side as well, that you're not perfect. Maybe most importantly, authentic leadership today, how you yourself as a leader integrate with life. You're not that leader that pretends that life doesn't exist. In the old model, we used to say, leave your personal life at the door. That's not how human operates, especially in the remote world. Work and life is very interconnected. I find that the modern leadership says that you can be ambitious, get to where you want, and you can actually build high performance and protect your well-being. You can be a parent and you can be a CEO, mother of 3. I'm very proud of that. You can care deeply and still have tough decisions, which I also had to learn throughout my career. That's not soft leadership. That is, to me, more sustainable model of that leadership. When we talk about creating more space for women to lead confidently and fully, all of these become even more important. Because for decades, women were told to lead by adapting the model that wasn't designed for them. Be more assertive, less emotion, be tougher, be quieter, be louder, or smile more, or smile less. We always had to fit that certain pattern, and it became exhausting. We don't need women to mold themselves into the outdated leadership framework. We need leadership framework to evolve, and in confidence, I don't think it comes from that imitation. It comes from that permission and openness and readiness. That's what I love to see every single day in the women and that we have here at Extropy, and many of the women that are part of our community. They lead with less fear, less apology, and more ownership.
My name is Miriam Correa. If I could give my younger self advice, I wouldn't tell her to be more confident. I would tell her she's allowed to grow in public. Early in my career, I thought I needed to have everything figured out before I spoke up, before I made decisions, before I led a project, before I disagreed with someone more experienced. I thought leadership came after certainty, came after certifications, came after degrees. What I learned is that leadership actually comes from consistent action. You ask the question, you run the meeting, you fix one problem at a time, and you get better while people are watching. I learned this from other women. I learned this from women that I still admire and am still connected to this day. I learned from my peers. Because of that, one thing I think women should stop apologizing for is not knowing everything yet. Learning is not incompetence and clarity is not aggression. You don't have to wait until you're completely ready to contribute. Competence is built in motion, not in private. I tell my younger self, you're not supposed to arrive first and then lead. Leading is how you become ready. And show up authentically as often as you can, and you will thrive.
I'm Cecile Brown-Smith, and authentic leadership today does not look like having all the answers. It looks more like creating the environment where the best answers can emerge. I've recently gotten into Simon Sinek and his speeches that he's given, and he talks a lot about leadership as a choice, not necessarily a rank. I believe deeply, and I say that because leadership isn't about being the loudest voice in the room, no matter how that appears to be strong. It's more about making sure that people feel safe to use their voice in the room. To me, authentic leadership means listening even when it's uncomfortable, having clear or being clear without it coming off rigid, and it gives people the chance to try things, to stretch their wings, and sometimes fail without being afraid to. You know, the best leaders don't think of themselves as the smartest person in the room. They think of themselves as more of the protectors of the room. And when people feel protected, they perform, they innovate, they lead themselves. That's what authentic leadership looks like to me.
Stop waiting to be discovered. I grew up with a strong belief in humility. Work hard, keep your head down, let the results speak. And that is valuable. But in tech, and honestly, in most workplaces, visibility is part of the job. So give to gain has become personal for me. I try to give what I wish I had earlier, a clear nudge and a real platform. I tell women, apply, speak up, and share that point of view. Ask for that meeting, put your name on the work. I back that up by creating opportunities, introductions, visibility, and sponsorship. Because when women are seen sooner, they don't just advance faster, we all gain. Talent retained, more innovation, and better leadership at every level.
Hello everyone, my name is Anamika, and when I think about authentic leadership, I think about leaders who are true and who remain true and lead with integrity, even when it is not the easiest thing to be done. Over the time, I've learned that authentic leadership begins with self-awareness. It is about understanding who you really are, knowing your strengths and acknowledging your weaknesses, and being transparent and communicating honestly with the people around you. It also means truly listening to people, respecting their diverse perspectives, and creating an environment where people feel safe, trusted, and valued. Most importantly, authentic leaders empower others. They create an environment for people to grow and contribute confidently and put the best ideas on the table without the fear of being judged. For me, authentic leadership is all about being real to yourself and the people around you. It's about building trust and an environment where people feel and inspiring others through consistent actions and not just words.
Hello, my name is Avriti Jain. I believe to create a safe space for women, to allow them to lead confidently and fully, we should provide them with equal opportunities. Also, it's very important to actively support women, especially in the rooms where decisions are being made. Sometimes knowing that your opinion really matters to someone makes all the difference. I believe when a woman rise, the organization grow. And when a woman lead, everybody move forward. And I'm really happy to be a part of a workplace that takes continuous steps to make the space bigger and better. Happy Women's Day to all.
Hi, my name is Mayra Kuraya. I think women should stop apologizing for taking up space, especially in a business setting. Apologizing for speaking up in a meeting, or for interjecting an idea, or for requesting follow-up or anything along those lines. Oftentimes we tend to start the conversation, I'm sorry, but, or I'm sorry if, and it's unnecessary. We are equal contributors in business, and we should not feel the need to apologize for taking up that space.
Being more isn't necessarily about doing more. It's about being intentional. Time is our most valuable resource, and so is our energy. I've realized that I can't give those away by default. Being more means making, strategic decisions about where my time goes, where my energy goes, and what actually deserves my focus. I'm still working on that, honestly. It also means taking up space, and it's about taking up the space that we've already earned and we deserve. Not shrinking, not overqualifying, or softening our opinions to make them more digestible to others. Showing up with my actual perspective, even if 9 chances out of 10, it's not perfectly polished. I think that is something that is absolutely necessary for female leaders. It's not always easy, but for me, being more is less about adding things and more about standing fully in what's already mine.
Hi, my name is Akriti. And for me, being more means refusing to limit myself to what the world expects of me, and instead stepping fully into my potential, both personally and professionally. Personally, it means being more confident in my voice, more compassionate toward myself and others. And professionally, being more means going beyond just doing my job. It means adding value continuously and learning. Being more is not about comparison. It's about progress, becoming stronger, wiser, and more empowered every day.
Early on in my career, I truly believed that professionalism meant compartmentalizing everything. Work was work, and whatever else was happening in my personal life stayed completely outside of that door every day when I came to work. Over time, I realized that approach asks people to carry a very quiet and very heavy type of pressure. Life does not exist in neat little categories, and pretending it does often takes a lot of energy away from the work itself. I also spent time in environments where I didn't always feel fully seen or valued when I walked into the room. Experiences like that stay with you, and they shape the kind of leader that you decide to become. Today, leadership means recognizing the whole person behind the work. Sometimes that can look very simple. It might mean rescheduling a call so that someone can stay at the doctor with their child and alleviate a little stress off of their morning. Adjusting a meeting so someone else can care for their elderly parent, or asking someone to host a call so a teammate can be present for a very important moment in their child's life. These moments matter more than people realize. When people feel trusted and supported in the workplace instead of pressured to constantly hide parts of their lives, there is a shift. They grow, they become more confident, more productive, and more willing to step into opportunities that they may not have even believed they were ready for. Helping people see the very best version of themselves and step into that is one of the most meaningful responsibilities of leadership. When people are trusted and supported, they don't just succeed. They grow into the leaders that they were always meant to become. Watching that shift happen is one of the greatest privileges of leadership. On this International Women's Day, we celebrate the incredible women who continue to lift others, lead with purpose, and shape the future every single day. From all of us at Extropy, we wish you a very happy International Women's Day.